Hello again. Today we're going to talk about, as you can see, the past simple tense. And the past simple tense is a verb tense. We've already talked about the present simple and we've talked about the present continuous. Now this time we're going to talk about the past simple tense. Past simple tense can be, of course, categorized in three things. We have positive sentences, we've got negative sentences, and we've got questions. Today we're only going to talk about the positive formation. When we're going to talk about positive formation, it's very important you understand that there are two ways to form a past simple tense form in the positive. We have regular verbs and we have irregular verbs. Now, no need to worry, the irregular verbs is the easy one, because the irregular verbs is just a list that you have to study. There are no rules. The only thing you can do is study them so you know them. And in English we use an idiom to say we know them by heart. In Dutch we say van buiten of uit je hoofd kennen. In English, by heart. It's a list which you can find in your book and you have to study them because you have to know them. In Dutch you also know them. Probably, and in French there are also irregular verbs, you know them. Why do you know them? Because you have studied them, and in Dutch you probably know them because you've been taught them. Second thing we have in the positive formation, of course, are the regular verbs. When we're talking about regular verbs, we know that we have rules we can follow. And actually there is one rule and a couple of spelling problems. When we take, for example, the verb to work. This is the infinitive of the verb. And then we're going to change the infinitive to our bare infinitive. The bare infinitive is this part. And we all know the bare infinitive from the Dutch stam and in French le radical. This is what we call in English the bare infinitive, the stam van je werkwoord. You use the bare infinitive to conjugate your verb. And how do you do that? You have your subject. You have I person, you've got the you, the he, she, it, and the we, you, they. And actually it's rather basic simple here. You take your verb in the bare infinitive, and what do? You put ed to the back of it to talk about the past simple. I worked at school yesterday. You worked from home yesterday. A week ago, he worked from his office. And we all worked in the garden 3 months ago. Those are examples of the past simple tense in the regular verb formation of the positive. Now, of course, as I said earlier, we also have some exceptions. Well, people call them exceptions. I prefer the word spelling problem. Why do we have spelling problems? Well, very easy. We have some spelling problems. For example, the first one I'd like to take a look at is the verb to love. To love. You all know what it means. Well, very basic. We take our bare infinitive, and as you can see, I'm going to change color here. As you can see, the verb already ends in an E, so it would be rather stupid to put ed to it. Then you get loved, which is no English at all. So what do? When your verb ends in a soft E, you just add a D to it. A soft E can be, you can take a look at it in Dutch as een doffe E. A soft E is an E you do not pronounce out loud. You say to love. You don't say to love, because then you are Italian. To love, to like, that is Italian English. We use normal English, definitely. Second spelling problem is, for example, with the verb to enjoy. I enjoyed a long hot bath yesterday, for example. You again take the bare infinitive of the verb, and then you see that our verb ends in, one vowel and a Y. So vowel plus Y. What happens when your verb ends in a vowel plus Y? Well, actually nothing. Absolutely nothing. You just conjugate it in the general way. This is a normal verb. But here comes the tricky part. For example, the verb you don't like at all, to study. Over here we have something else. We have a verb which ends, excuse me, dropping my pens. Another verb we're going to use in a minute. We have with the study, we have a consonant plus y combination. When your verb ends in a consonant plus y combination, what happens? You drop the y and you change it to IED. Now this is a rule you might know from other things as well. For example, think about one boy, two boys, but one lady, three ladies. Over here, exactly the same. So in English, there are a lot of rules, but the rules are kind of similar to things you already know. I hope you still know them, of course. Third spelling problem, very important as well. I already said I was dropping my pens, and that was totally correct, because, for example, the word or the verb to drop something is iets laten vallen. And as you can see, this verb ends in one vowel and one consonant. And also the stress of the verb is on this syllable. A syllable in Dutch is een lettergreep. Now there is only one syllable. So what do we do when you have one vowel, one consonant and stress? You double the last consonant and then add ed. Otherwise you get drop it. And drop it is again very strange English. So I repeat everything. You have past simple tense, irregular verbs. You know them by heart. You've got regular verbs. In regular verbs, you take the bare infinitive, you put ed to it. And in the regular verbs, you've got three important spelling problems. First spelling problem, when your verb ends in a soft e, you only add a d. When your verb ends in a consonant plus y, consonant for those of you who forgot it, it's a medeklinker. So when your verb ends in a consonant plus y, you add IED and you drop the y. And when your verb ends in one vowel, one consonant, and the stress of the verb is on that syllable, you add the last consonant, so you double it, and you put ed to it. That's first I wanted to talk to you. Now, do not forget, when do we use past simple tense? Past we talk about when we're talking about things that happened before now. So when we're talking about definite actions. It's also very important for you to know, not necessarily you know it right now, but we'll take a look at that in the future. And that's it for this week. The past simple tense. Do not forget to study your irregular verbs, since they are rather and very, very important. Goodbye and good luck.